As Liberal red and Conservative blue swept across the country in Canada's federal election earlier this week, NDP orange dwindled. While many voters who left the party turned to the Liberals, many others flipped to the Conservatives, with affordability being among the key factors. In Monday's federal election, the Liberals are projected to have won 168 seats, enough to form a minority government, and the Conservatives sit at 144. But after winning 25 seats in the 2021 election, the NDP plummeted to just 7 seats, with their leader, Jagmeet Singh, among those who lost re-election. And in ridings that flipped blue, union workers appear to have played a key role. What you're seeing happening is this shift of people who are union workers who typically in the past might have gone NDP or Liberal, said Terry Givens, a political science professor at the University of British Columbia. They are frustrated with the last 10 years. They are also looking for somebody who's going to say the things they want to hear, and that's something that Poilievre has really tried to do, is to be the person who's out there saying what people want to hear on things like housing and immigration and affordability. Windsor West is one such riding that saw a shift from the NDP to Conservative. Despite outgoing MP Brian Mass having been elected since 2002, he came in third in that riding with 28% of the vote, while the Liberals' Richard Pollock garnered 31% and Conservative MP-elect Harp Gill won with 39%. One pollster says it's clear what drove that shift. If you're a member of a working-class union, particularly if you are a male member of a working-class union at least, they don't feel that they have a place in that particular version of the New Democratic Party, said Daryl Bricker, president of Ipsos Public Affairs. Ipsos data provided to global news shows of those who voted for the NDP in 2021, 19% switched their vote to the Liberals this election, but 5% went to the Conservatives, which could amount to more than 151,800 voters. The Trump administration has removed Romania from the list of countries whose citizens can travel to the U.S. without a visa. The decision was taken by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. State Department, the DHS said late Friday. DHS decided that Romania's designation should be rescinded in order to protect the integrity of the visa waiver program and to ensure border and immigration security, the department said in a statement. Days after an estimated 19.6 million Canadians cast their ballots, the results of this year's federal election are coming in, bringing with them a new political landscape. Here are some of the takeaways from Canada's 45th trip to the polls. Big takes from small. This year's election saw gains for Canada's two largest federal parties and losses for everyone else. The Liberal Party of Canada, which won the most ridings of any party at 169, picked up 11 seats from the Bloc Québécois, 10 from the Conservatives and 7 from the NDP, while the Conservatives, in second place with 143 seats, took 16 from the Liberals, 10 from the NDP and 1 each from the Bloc and Green Party of Canada. Collectively, Canada's smaller parties lost nearly half of their total seats this cycle, to 31 from the 60 ridings they held at dissolution. It's a development that Fair Vote Canada, a non-profit electoral reform group, calls a shift toward American-style two-party politics. In the face of unprecedented threats from Donald Trump and the harsh choices presented by our first-past-the-post system, many voters abandoned the NDP and Greens, lending their votes to the Liberals out of fear that Pierre Poilievre would win 100% of the power with 40% of the vote, reads a Tuesday release. Canada's Parliament and our politics will suffer from the lack of diverse voices in Parliament for years to come. But while a Liberal win and collapse for New Democrats might suggest that left-of-centre Canadians voted strategically to ward off a Conservative government, Conservatives actually peeled off more NDP seats than the Liberals did, complicating that narrative. Memorably touting boots, not suits, on the stump, Poilievre's campaign targeted blue-collar workers, traditionally a constituency for the pro-Labour NDP and a group put at risk amid the global trade war, particularly in Ontario's auto sector. What happened in Southwest Ontario is not progressive vote splitting, wrote economist and political commentator Mike Moffat in a Wednesday post to X. There's a lot of blue-orange, anyone but Liberal switches. It would be a heck of a coincidence that the phenomenon was isolated to blue-collar ridings like Fanshawe, Moffat added in a post Thursday. For the NDP, which lost official party status after falling below the 12-seat minimum threshold, that kind of loss can color their understanding of what comes next. We have to figure out with a diminished size and influence how we can best use what we have to make an impact, said NDP campaign spokesperson Anne McGrath, noting that a post-mortem on the election outcome, as well as a plan for who will replace outgoing leader Jagmeet Singh, are forthcoming. Regional shifts. This week's electoral shake-up also shifted where in the country each party draws their support. Liberals made gains in Quebec and Western Canada while trading seats with the Conservatives in Ontario and Atlantic Canada. Bloc leader Yves-François Blanquet attributed his party's challenges in French Canada to US President Donald Trump's threats of annexation. Speaking to reporters in French, he said the subject surfaced again and again throughout the campaign, each time the Liberals feared to lose ground. Conservatives, meanwhile, were the only party to end the night with more support in riding-rich Ontario than they had before, capturing 13 seats from the Liberals in areas including the 905 and Southwest, 3 from the NDP and 1 from the Greens. They also made notable gains in British Columbia, flipping 1 Liberal and 5 NDP seats. New Democrats made no gains this election, losing more than two-thirds of their total seat count with steep drops in Ontario and Western Canada. At time of this writing, they hold on to just 7 ridings, spread across BC, Alberta, Manitoba and Quebec, as well as the riding for Nunavut. As a one-province party, the Bloc's support hasn't shifted so much as shrunk, down to 23 seats from 34 at dissolution with a loss of 11 to the Liberals and 1 to the Conservatives. The party did pick up a seat from the Liberals in Gaspésie, Les Îles de la Madeleine, Listegouge, on election night. And then 3 days after the election, it was determined that the Bloc won another seat, Terrebonne, after an Elections Canada validation process found they had in fact beaten the Liberals by 44 votes in the closely fought riding. Meanwhile, the Greens lost their only Ontario riding, leaving party leader Elizabeth May's seat in BC their last holdout. May has said she's open to lots of things as this new parliament takes shape, including the race for Speaker of the House and hypothetically a spot in Prime Minister Mark Carney's cabinet, though she has noted she wouldn't do so if it meant dropping her party affiliation. New faces in the House. While control of Parliament remains in the hands of the same party, this election saw change on the seat-to-seat level, from the top on down. House of Commons records show that Canada's 45th Parliament will include 226 re-elected MPs and 117 new members, the lowest proportion of incumbents since 2015, despite the total number of ridings growing to 343 from 338 following the last census. Of the 5 party leaders in the House of Commons at dissolution, only Blanquet and May are set to return to Parliament in the coming weeks. Former Liberal leader Justin Trudeau did not run after stepping down as Prime Minister earlier this year, and both Poilievre and NDP leader Jagmeet Singh were ousted from their seats in Carleton and Burnaby Central, respectively. Jonathan Pednault, the Green Party's other co-leader for this election, lost his race to pick up the Montreal seat of Outremont and has since resigned from his role in the party. Meanwhile, Poilievre is set to run in an upcoming by-election for the rural Alberta riding of Battle River, Crowfoot, after Conservative MP-elect Damien Curek announced he would give up the seat earlier this week. According to the Library of Parliament records, the incoming House of Commons will have 104 women among its members, 1 more than were elected in 2021, but with slightly lower representation, as there are now 343 seats in the House, up from 338. Since the late 1990s, the proportion of women in Parliament has risen to 30% from 20%. Location: Dartmouth Road, from the Bedford Highway to the Magazine Hill Public Works Department. Date: Tuesday, May 6. Time: 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Work details: this work is to facilitate asphalt repair in support of the 2021-25 Regional Council Strategic Priorities Plan to establish a safe and accessible integrated mobility network. Traffic impact: lane drops will be in place while work is underway. Motorists should expect delays and are asked to take alternative routes whenever possible. Description: this is an Alberta emergency alert. The County of Grande Prairie has updated a wildfire alert. This alert is in effect for everyone south of Township Road 710 to 27 Avenue and east of Range Road 64 to Highway 40 in County of Grande Prairie. A wildfire is burning in the area. It is burning east toward Highway 40, south of Grande Prairie. Everyone in a home in Lower Sackville managed to escape when the porch caught fire Monday morning, including a pet hamster. Halifax firefighters were called to the scene at about 8:31 a.m. They found fire on the porch, heading into the townhouse and up the outside of the building, according to a social media post from the Halifax Professional Firefighters Union. Crews used a hose line to contain the fire and prevent further spread, they said. Photo: Halifax Professional Firefighters, Facebook. District Chief Rob Hebb says everyone had evacuated the building by the time firefighters arrived. When they went in to see how far the fire had spread, they found and rescued a hamster. Hebb says there were about 20 firefighters on scene in the morning, with 3 fire engines and 1 helicopter. Photo, Halifax Professional Firefighters, Facebook. The fire is out, but some investigators are on scene to determine what caused the fire. The first vice president of the NSGEU says free parking at Nova Scotia hospitals, although a step in the right direction, leaves healthcare workers behind. Hugh Gills tells our newsroom the provincial initiative is positive but misleading. The problem is, healthcare workers are not permitted to park at the QEII during peak times through the week, 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., so there are designated sites off in a different location, says Gillis. The QEII is undergoing a major expansion that required the Roby Street parkade to be demolished, leaving alternative solutions for staff to leave their vehicle. Gillis says those sites fill up quickly and early. By 7 o'clock, they are filled in the morning. We have healthcare workers arriving for a shift at 8 o'clock with nowhere to park. So, the expectation is certainly not being met and they are extremely frustrated, adds Gillis. Free parking at hospitals and healthcare facilities across the province was a campaign promise made good by Premier Tim Houston. What it looks like varies from location to location, with some that require validation. Gillis says parking outside of the busy sites has been positive, but the issue is mainly at the QEII, which is the busiest site. Our staff are so frustrated, they are looking at their options. This is a retention and recruitment issue. If they can't park, they are going to go somewhere else, adds Gillis. It is still unclear exactly what would be a solution to solve the parking issue for staff, but Gillis says the province must work harder to figure it out for staff at the QEII. He adds, some staff don't feel comfortable parking at certain times of the day. Not all healthcare workers have the ability to take the bus into town. There are childcare issues. The needs of healthcare workers are not being met with regards to parking, says Gillis. Description. **test***. This is an annual test of the Fort Smith notification system. The town of Fort Smith is busy preparing for the upcoming wildfire season. Part of the annual preparations is a test of the notification system. If your family or friends are not signed up, tell them to visit fortsmith.ca/protective-services/emergency-preparedness. Let's make Fort Smith a wildfire resilient community. Sign up for a free FireSmart home assessment today. Email Protective Services at fortsmith.ca and a friendly Fort Smith Fire EMS member will come to your home, walk around your property, and show you ways you can protect your home and neighborhood by being more FireSmart. Wind warning. Issued at Tuesday 3:10 p.m. May 6, 2025. Issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Description. Southwest winds will gust up to 120 km per hour beginning early Thursday morning and continue through Friday morning. ###. Loose objects may be tossed by the wind and cause injury or damage. Wind warnings are issued when there is a significant risk of damaging winds. Please continue to monitor alerts and forecasts issued by Environment Canada. To report severe weather, send an email to qstorm@ec.gc.ca or post reports on X using #QCStorm. Hello everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, what time zone you're in. We have some news for from now on, so we'll do a new feature called A/B texting. For upcoming thumbnail we make a few of them and we want to know which one it will be popular, so each person will not show the same one. This means if one person have this thumbnail doesn't mean the next person will have the same thing. In total 3 thumbnail are ongoing at the same time. It will end the AB in 1 week time, it gets some way before that time that the one go to be on for good. By the team. Child among 3 killed, Pakistani military says. Published at 1842. 1842. 2 civilians in Kotli, in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, and a child in Bawalpur, Pakistan, have been killed in India strikes, a spokesperson for Pakistan's military says. Lieutenant Gen Ahmed Sharif Chaudhry adds that 12 more civilians were injured in a Medpusha Kia in Bawalpur, according to reports from Pakistani media Geo News. He also says a family including a child have been trapped under the rubble of a collapsed house. Description. This is a test of the alertable notification system for City of Armstrong. If this were an actual alert, information and instructions would be provided. Do not call 911. This test alert will remain in effect until 3 p.m. Tuesday, May 6, 2025. Description: Village of Boyle Fire Department is currently responding to a wildfire south of Boyle along Highway 831 between the Boyle Fish Pond and the Elscott Turnoff. Avoid travel along Highway 831 while fire crews respond to the fire. This alert will remain in effect until the fire is contained. Instructions: If you are not in the area, avoid the area. Have a plan to check in on family, friends and vulnerable neighbors. Keep all doors and windows closed. Reduce time spent outdoors and avoid vigorous outdoor activities. Listen to local news stations for information and watch for further updates. Follow the direction of local authorities. Do not call 911 for information or updates. Description: Due to wind and dry conditions and an increased risk of wildfires, GNB has enacted a fire ban for southern and central New Brunswick. Fire bans are issued to inform citizens of conditions that pose a high fire risk and the potential danger caused by open fires. Know before you burn. Fire Watch, gnb.ca. A wildfire in Nova Scotia's Colchester County that prompted an evacuation is now under control according to the Department of Natural Resources and Renewables, DNR. 5 DNR firefighters remain on scene working alongside the Valley Kemptown Fire Department. The fire is approximately 3 hectares in size. A DNR helicopter was temporarily diverted from a search effort in Pictou County to drop water on the fire. The helicopter has since returned to the search. The Valley Kemptown Fire Department issued a notice of evacuation for some area homes out of an abundance of caution, reads an email to Weather and News from DNR. That evacuation order has since been rescinded. The Nova Scotia RCMP says it received a request from a partner agency to assist with evacuations in the 400 block of Old Pictou Road in Manganese Mines. Hello everybody, we know that this time is difficult, but on Wednesday in Nova Scotia we receive an emergency alert. For the missing children, they left a house in Wonder away in the RCMP. Don't know where they are located. And they know what the person is wearing, what they wear, and some dinosaur boots in the last scene wearing a t-shirt and long pants, but at this time we don't know what color they are got on, so we are trying to get more information of what you are wearing. Please look in your shed, or any of the kids should be hiding. Check underneath your deck to see if they are there. If they are, PLS call 911 as soon as possible and tell them where you are located. And stay away if you enter in the forest. PLS we don't want you to help with this one. It's too dangerous food for people to help with this investigation. We got police dogs, drones and helicopters search in the area of 24/7. More information coming at the community tab if it becomes available before that time come up. We do the next news. AI out. Area description: Bridgewater and Lower Branch. Description: Village of Boyle has issued an evacuation order for the Village of Boyle due to a wildfire. You must leave the designated area immediately. Failure to do so could result in injury and loss of life. A reception center is being established in Lac La Biche at the Parkland 2 Motels, 10710-101 Ave, Lac La Biche. You can pre-register using the attached QR code. Buses are staged at the Boyle Arena and the Co-op cardlock to go to the reception center. If you require assistance to reach the bus, please call the Village of Boyle office at 780-689-3643. The Co-op gas station is open if you require emergency fuel. Take your pets and prepare to be away for at least 72 hours. This alert will remain in effect until further notice. Special Air Quality Statement. Issued at Wednesday 6:50 p.m. May 7, 2025. Issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Description: Smoke is causing or expected to cause poor air quality and reduced visibility. Smoke from a brush fire will cause a reduction in air quality over areas in its vicinity and downwind. Locations: St. John's and vicinity and Avalon Peninsula north. Short-range wind forecast, southwesterly 30 km per hour with gusts to 50 tonight and Thursday. Remarks: a couple brush fires on the Avalon Peninsula are producing smoke plumes downwind. Reduced air quality can be expected along the path of the plumes. ####. As smoke levels increase, health risks increase. Limit time outdoors. Consider reducing or rescheduling outdoor sports, activities and events. You may experience mild and common symptoms such as eye, nose and throat irritation, headaches or a mild cough. More serious but less common symptoms include wheezing, chest pains or severe cough. If you think you are having a medical emergency, seek immediate medical assistance. People more likely to be impacted by outdoor air pollution, including people aged 65 and older, pregnant people, infants and young children, people with an existing illness or chronic health condition, and people who work outdoors, should reduce or reschedule strenuous activities outdoors and seek medical attention if experiencing symptoms. Visit http://www.airhealth.ca for information on how to reduce your health risk and your personal contribution to pollution levels, as well as for current and forecast AQHI values. Please continue to monitor alerts and forecasts issued by Environment Canada. Recommended action. When indoors, keep windows and doors closed as much as possible. When there is an extreme heat event occurring with poor air quality, prioritize keeping cool. Protect your indoor air from wildfire smoke. Actions can include using a clean, good quality air filter in your ventilation system and/or a certified portable air cleaner that can filter fine particles. If you must spend time outdoors, a well-constructed, well-fitting and properly worn respirator-type mask, such as a NIOSH-certified N95 or equivalent respirator, can reduce your exposure to the fine particles in the smoke. Even though exposure may be reduced, there can still be risks to health. Check in on others who are in your care or live nearby who may be more likely to be impacted by outdoor air pollution. Always follow guidance from local authorities. Learn more at https://www.canada.ca/wildfire-smoke. Invest 93P is currently located over Papua New Guinea. The system has a low chance of developing into a tropical cyclone in the next 24 hours. What is an invest? An invest is an area of disturbed weather that is under investigation for its potential to develop into a tropical cyclone. Maximum sustained surface winds are around 30 km per hour, 15 knots. Minimum sea level pressure is estimated to be near 1006 HPA. No advisories or warnings have been issued for Invest 93P at this time. Wind warning. Issued at Thursday 4:56 a.m. May 8, 2025. Issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Description. Strong winds that may cause damage are expected or occurring. Wind gusts to 100 km per hour expected Thursday evening. A low-pressure system moving into southern Baffin Island will bring strong westerly winds to Kingate later today. The strongest winds will occur Thursday evening with sustained wind speeds increasing to around 70 km per hour and wind gusts of 90 to 100 km per hour. The winds will ease by Friday morning. ###. Damage to buildings, such as to roof shingles and windows, may occur. Loose objects may be tossed by the wind and cause injury or damage. Please continue to monitor alerts and forecasts issued by Environment Canada. To report severe weather, send an email to newstorm@ec.gc.ca, call 1-800-239-0484 or post reports on X using #newstorm. Frost Advisory. Issued at Thursday 3:54 p.m. May 8, 2025. Issued by Environment and Climate Change Canada. Description. Patchy frost overnight into early Friday morning. Temperatures are expected to drop to near the freezing mark overnight into early Friday morning. ###. Please continue to monitor alerts and forecasts issued by Environment Canada. To report severe weather, send an email to onstorm@ec.gc.ca or post reports on X using #onstorm. Recommended action. Cover up plants, especially those in frost-prone areas.